Morning, everyone. Sam here. Welcome to Ask Sam. We're going to talk about capital gains tax and why it actually is a silly tax when it comes to the social dynamic of real estate. So last night I rang a client of mine who I helped buy an investment property back in 2011. The investment has gone up significantly since she acquired the asset. I think she paid $780 from memory from her purchase of the asset. Today though, or last night, I got her an offer of 1.7 million from a home buyer. So a lot of my day is spent around helping investors get into the market, but I am also connected to the home buyer market, and a big part of my personal, experience in real estate is finding assets for investors that basically home buyers want to take off their hands at some point. So I'm dealing with the home buyer. Home buyer knows the asset, has been past the asset, is very interested in it, and I sort of speak to the investor, and the investor's, not that keen to sell. Rightfully so, but not that keen to sell. Mentions that if the capital gain wasn't an issue, they would be more likely to sell. And of course, capital gains is an issue for her. So I go back to the home buyer and I say, well, look, if you raise your offer, maybe the investor will sell because they've got to factor in some capital gains. So do you want to come up another 100,000? So they come up to 1.8. So now the buyer, the investor, is up gross $1 million. They've made $1 million out of this deal. It's been about a 10-year hold. So what happens next? Well, the investor basically, again, says no capital gains tax. So it's got me thinking, is capital gains tax just a stupid tax? Because the reality is it serves one purpose in the property market that, certainly stops people flipping and treating the property market like a racetrack. But it certainly does almost like lock in property investors from selling and moving their money around and potentially buying something else and just trading in the marketplace. In this example, to be honest, it's really stopped a young family or home buyer family getting a property they could afford in the marketplace. So now there's less stock. They simply have got to go around and obviously find something that may suit them. But the point of the conversation today is it's a dumb tax, because all it really does is lock up properties whereby investors have equity in them, and to release that property is going to be taxed. So you can imagine there's a lot of growth going on right now. So a lot of the property market and a lot of investment properties are going to have capital gains tax lock in them, where people will hold them. And of course, this creates more capital growth, but certainly tougher, I think, for everyday people to get into the property market. So I think there could be a good balance between the worlds. So capital gains tax lock, it is something which I think, if it was removed from the market, you would certainly see a bit more activity happening from investors being willing to part with properties. And of course, rather than just pushing the market up, they would make